Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? The name's Filch. Phineas Filch, caretaker of Kyobi Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like. Why is he always taking shoes? Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch. Ah, it's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Filch stole them again. How does he keep doing that? They're all yours, your honorship, sir. What? They seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like you, your honorship. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Aw, ethics, meth dicks. Just take them if you want them. Polished them up real nice for you, too. I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Ted Mataro in the after the murder. And it's not suspicious at all that LaBelle took him away to talk about his testimony at all. Definitely not. Probably not even gonna bring it up. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the just like Mr. Kyobi asked me to, yeah. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened at 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree. Well, I can already prove that's a falsehood. That yokai you keep jabbering on about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams. So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Ten Mataro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, nutter butter the truth. Nutter butters? Oh, that sounds nice. And Ten Mataro? Bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't, except I do, pants-wettingly so. My bracelet? It's... something the matter, Apollo? My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So, you think Mr. Mr. Filch has been lying to us? Well, I mean, yeah, blatantly. I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in... Do we really need to zero in on a tell for this sort of thing? It's kind of obvious. Some sort of nervous habit. Dad, Jesus Christ, it's a bird! Why is there a bird? What's a hawk doing in here? Why is he allowed to have that? Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you, you know, in jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird? Okay, well, I mean, yes, there are such things as jailbirds. I see the joke you're trying to make here. But I don't think you're allowed to bring your pet into prison with you. Was the justification that he was an accessory to murder? Because that's stupid, but it would be funny, and I would accept it. Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud, and that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. Why would you keep a buzzard in your bosom? This isn't some sort of Ah, God, it's a bird! It's a bird! Why is it a bird? I won't be able to spot squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? What for the hills? No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Ah, bird on my head! Bird on my head! Ah, somebody help! Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. He's got an itchy head. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Ten Mataro there, Phil should have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now. I can do this. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. With a bird on the judge's head. That's very silly. This game is silly. Alrighty, well, this is pretty clear-cut and obvious. He claims to have been paying attention, but we know he sucks at his job, and we don't have to worry about that. So I just have to wait for everything to very, very slowly scroll by. Quick question. Gameplay. Text skip? Enable or disable the step of unread text? Well, that's... Adjust the length of time until the next line of dialogue is explained. Dang, I can't just make it go faster? I don't want to accidentally skip text. Alright, fine. I'll just deal with it being kind of slow. I don't want to skip text and have to go into the history tab or something. Anyway, didn't see out of nothing ordinary. Oh, I was still in my office doing the thingamadoo, except you weren't. You were watching some wrestling.
Objection!
You stinky nerd. Don't lie to the court like that, you loser! Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that. I ain't whacking no bushes. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss. Ah! I didn't watch that one, no siree. I was doing my job like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Yipes! Heavens to Murgatroyds! Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." I guess that's what the notebook is for. Ah! So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy Poo lawyer talk. And I'm one of them professional types, too. I can do double duty, watch a TV and the full at the same time. Hang on, let me check something. No, you couldn't have. Glad to find that one out. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is a professional thief. Well, more of a professional pickpocket. And even then, I mean, we still caught him. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off? That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie. Bald, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. Bruh. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. Alright. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV and the foyer simultaneously. Simultaneously? Yeah, whatever. Now prove it. Okay, I will.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, yeah, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Why, yes, someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly. And that means Mr. Filch is a big stinky poo-poo liar face. Ah! The bag's out of the cat! The other way around. How would you get a bag out of a cat? You know, I don't want to know. Order in the court! But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case? I mean, yeah, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it right now. It's very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Ten Mataro impersonator in the voix.
Objection!
What now? It's always something with this guy. Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the voix entrance covered. What are you talking about? Oh, bird. This. I'm not a mind reader. Why you gotta be like that? Stop that. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki? They were? Yeah, sure, why not? But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? But what if it was a bird who flew? Yep, my ears are working full time. So who's the liar now, you no good shyster? A lying thief calling me a shyster? This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. I don't know. The panty thief guy was definitely something else. Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackwell, sir. You really are something else, making a convenient excuse for me. I mean, you don't miss a thing. And them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine. I am a bird, it's true. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Ah, Jesus Christ, it's the bird, it's the bird, it's the bird! I don't want to be eaten by the bird! The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. Jesus. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. Alrighty. Sure. Why not? It's true. I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears? Oh, they work in overtime. The floor there's all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So, you see, there weren't no Ten Mataro in the foyer. Utter lies. Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Damn. Understand? Thinka. A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense. For lacking that, our entire world would be but upside down. Says the convicted prosecutor who is totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. Yeah. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming about, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo. I believe that. I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if we can't prove she saw Tenmataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted. Well, then we better hope my guns fire bullets, and not BBs. Hey, don't underestimate a BB, you could shoot your eye out. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna have to do some digging. Let's see. It's true, I was watching a wrestle match, but that don't mean I'm a stupid loser who's bad at his job. It's every other piece of evidence that supports that notion that makes it true. Alright, they were working overtime. The floor there's all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone like that. Alright, take a gander. So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch? As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, that Tenmataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle. Alright, well, there you go. There's your hole right there. Jingle jangle? Well, how does he do that? It's that staff of his. That's what jingle jangles. What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Tenmataro has a staff that makes noise. Apparently, you both forgot about this part. Okay. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? Thank you, Athena. She said she saw Tenmataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch said Tenmataro jingle jangles. Would you consider this information important? I would, yes. Because we know he's not supposed to have the thingy. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. Alrighty-do. If Tenmataro was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle. Or would it have?
Objection!
That's the real question. Tenmataro's staff would make a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Yeah, sure, why not? Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tenmataro on the day of the incident. Why then did you assume just now that Tenmataro would be holding a staff? Eh? You see, the Tenmataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands, and she described its sound just like you did, as a kinda jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff, what's your point?
Objection!
You dingus! I've caught you in another lie. The point is that Tenmataro doesn't use a staff. Not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch? Hey, you're right, there's no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick. Hi-shi-bum-bum-bum-bum! So the question is, why does the witness think Tenmataro uses a staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well, now, this is getting interesting. All right, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tenmataro carries a staff. Because he freaking saw the dude. Is that really so hard to figure out? I mean, yes, but also mostly this. Slam-a-jam. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. Busted again! Bloody hell, you duplicitous little... Wow, that was satisfying. Yeah, how'd that feel, Black Will? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You suck. You did see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging ya. Please don't make me say it. Oh, you gonna be saying it, though. But clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact, or I'll slap you silly. No can do, no way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he could be. He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. No, I see where that's going. That's that. Okay, the question now is, why? Mr. Filch is scared to death? Is that why he can't admit to the truth? He's a coward? Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, But in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. Yeah, but who's even using that thing anyway? Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she'd seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Filch believes that too? Ah! So Mr. Big Time City Slick Lawyer has heard about him? Them old village superstitions? Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? Isn't it the witness's job to do that? All right. The people of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things. Like always wearing tutus when eating scrambled eggs. It's weird. Anyway, the superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro. Darn straight that's why! It's all right here! Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Interesting, that. See? That's why us folks in Ninetales Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro. Interesting. Why were you just carrying this around? What? That's weird. Now, that clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer. What?
Objection!
Yeah, you freaking would. Superstitions, you say? What kind of a fool would actually believe such rubbish? The witness, for one. And would that using some silly fairy tale could be so easily expose the culprit? You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
No, I don't! Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights. Sounds like a personal problem to me. There is no lack of superstitions in the Clink, but few are those who truly believe in them. Cool, what's that have to do with anything?
Objection!
Look, whatever. Yeah, we get it, you're in prison. What is that supposed to prove? Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people in Ninetales Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer. But then I saw her face! Yeah! Roar! You know, those handcuffs are way too, like, long. The chain's supposed to be, like, astronomically shorter. As is, there's a lot of things he could do with his hands. Anyway, order, I say! You fool of a tanuki! 2 times now your lies have cost me! Sorry! You promised not to do it again! Yes, I do. Taka, my fine feathered friend, murder this man!
Read it down.
Ah! He took off! Bailiff! What are you waiting for? After him! And with your fastest men! That's certainly not something you see every day. Well, given the situation, I guess I can't totally blame them. I'd run too if a bird flew at my head. I'm just saying. Well, it would seem a new important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenmataro was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Ah! Uh-oh. What? Huh? Ah! His shackles. Oh, God! Yeah! I'm too young to die! Justice Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You would best say your prayers. Okay, that's a threat. Oh, great. Who let this man be prosecutor and why? What happened to literally every other prosecutor that I've ever met? Except for the one who might be dead now. Anyway, well, the 2 that might be dead, whatever. Detective, do something! Have no fear, Fulbright is here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going, or whatever.
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that set him free. Objection, objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice. Murder man on the loose!
Silence.
Does he really have to have that? I guess he does. I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Oh, well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, you know, your job? I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. He often does. Maybe choose your wordage better? Whatever. So Justice Dono's assertion is this. You know what? I'll take that infinitely over air forehead. God, that was dumb. Tenma Taro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right. And that yokai, or rather whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Kyubi.
Silence.
Ah, stop doing that! Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox Chamber? What? Oh, that's right, she said nothing about Tenma Taro being in the Fox Chamber. God damn it. Let me enlighten you with my bird. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is? Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewered murder victim, the alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been someone dressed up like Then why does the little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the Fox Chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Taro inside the Fox Chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. No, I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be a 2-day affair. Long as my blade thirsted for blood, at long last it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? What on earth is going on? Show me what you're truly capable of, Justice Dono. Ah, it's a bird, it's a bird, it's a bird! Very well then. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... what? Why? Why is he mad? 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? All this is proven is that Blackwell doesn't wash his damn hands when he uses the toilet. It's disgusting. Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash your hands! Ha! Nice! See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Ah, bird on my head! Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I'm just saying, if the judge has to use the bathroom, it's gonna take him longer than 3 minutes at his age. I declare Prosecutor Blackwell the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor's running the show, does it? Yeah, but admittedly, that's always the case. Alright, well, as always, things have gone horribly, horribly wrong. And we have to find a way out of it. Delightful. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. You're also supposed to have them behind the back. Like, he's following the Cody from Street Fighter rules of handcuffs, which is to say, there are no handcuffs designed that way. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenma Taro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway? God only knows. Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. As incredibly awesome as that sounds, please don't. No, wait! Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence. I suppose it could wait till later. If you want to commit crimes, can you please wait until I've proven you haven't committed the one crime that you didn't do? Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Oftentimes, no. Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo. Don't be late. Oh, we're actually already back. Okay. Slow text crawl. Now then! I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at Kyubi Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is. Oh, damn. Nurai Hyong, leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist. Wow, that is one polished tray. I'm impressed, I truly am. The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. Yeah! What is it, my child? Begone, Nurai Hyong, leader of the 100 demons. Oh, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was known as a judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. My charm is no effect! He's too powerful, his beard too mighty, it commands so much authority! The demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one. Honestly, the judge always struck me as the kind of guy who's mellowed out in old age. I'm willing to bet in his younger days he probably actually was a bit more so the case of that. Did he just scare his own bird with that? That was awesome. His eyes bulged out just a little. That was funny. Now, you little scamp. Oh, damn. The British accent thing just does not fit his vibe. Yes. Thinky. I trust you know why you're here. No. Bags. Bags. Oh, that Trixie Tanuki? Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Is his bird laughing with him? Hold up, hang on. You're gonna repeat that animation? No. Okay, but I think that bird was laughing. Everyone's a comedian. Yeah, but that doesn't mean everyone is funny. Look at me. I'm not funny. No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. You know, there are 3 people with bags under their eyes in this case. It's really starting to become a trend. Actually, it might be 4. Wow, yeah, no, there's a lot going on here. Here, this charm will keep Azukiarai away. Sorry for my pronunciations. Azukiarai? The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off! Azukiarai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. And Athena's full of beans! Athena, watch out! A demon is gonna wash you! But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together, these 2 are just plain creepy. Dang. Dang, that's not very nice. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene. Please, if in you, please. It would be very cool of you. I imagine this is gonna be one jumbled up mess of a testimony. Did I see Tenma Taro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, shiver, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. Not really much of a testimony, is it? So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Lots, and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them? I don't know, I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Seto Taisho, they were all there. It was like a family reunion of stupid bullcrap. This is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a whole flood of them. Noah's Ark full of them. Whoa, hell, this is ludicrous. His eyes just glowed. That was neat. This is ludicrous. And I ain't talking about the wrapper, nor am I talking about the toothpaste. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony. Yeah. Why?
Hold it!
Athena's stepping up! Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course. Realistically, I feel like that absolutely is not something they should agree to. What a fabulous... Okay, never mind. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. That sounds really neat. I want to see. You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. No, that definitely seems exactly like the gal we've been seeing this whole time. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of... Okay, you know, I mean... Again, what is she supposed to be, like 15? Look, a 15-year-old girl who's already clearly a very anxious and cowardly sort, running across a murder scene. Yeah, I can't blame him. I can't. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? Yeah. It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. That was an amazing face. I wonder when we're gonna get into, like, the very clear and obvious history between these two. Like, obviously. Don't think I'd miss the fact that they both focus on courtroom psychology. Uh-oh. Oh, Jesus. Ah! She already broke the device! Did I see Ten Mataro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, shiver, I saw. Yes, now I remember. Yokai! Yokai, right there in that room! There was a heavily censored Tanuki! Found something! Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Don't ask me though about the science of it, because it's nonsense. Whoa. You mean that little thing could do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here, I thought it was just some kid's toy. Wow, rude. You literally have a magic bracelet that tells you when people are nervous and lying. Are you really going to try and say that kind of thing to Athena? I don't think so. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. Did I see Ten Mataro in the Fox Chamber? Yeah. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? I guess sadness and fear can be pretty related. She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. Yeah, that would make sense. So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions? Far from impossible. Yeah, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. I don't know enough about psychology to refute any of this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say, okay. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. That do be a lot of yokai hopping and bopping about. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Okay, sure. Start by pressing probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. All right, I suppose I shall. Let's get to probing. Get to probing.
Got it!
There we go. Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on a Wheel of Fire? That's a kasha. A yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly! It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for a kasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. I mean, I imagine it was a chandelier. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't a kasha you saw. Could you possibly have mistaken this for a kasha? Booyakasha! I'm willing to bet. The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design and is up on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The kasha you saw was a light fixture. Mamma mia! There you go. 'Twas merely lamp. So are we gonna have to do that with all of them? That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie! What about this white wall-like monster? That's a Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. It's the inspiration for Womps and Mario Bros. Very cool fun fact, but not what we're talking about. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. Say what? And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. Just the statue of one. Say what? And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. What? I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, she broke her tray. Oh, never mind, she got a new one. Yay. You did it, Apollo. Aw, her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me? There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. I see a problem here. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Wait. Jinxie? What about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro, or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking! Oh, we're up Pooped Creek and everything, but that made me laugh. Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. Oh, damn, that's a good line! It's the least I could do. Yeah, no, I gotta respect that game. Ah, no! I don't like being shoved. It hurts my feelings. Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? You know what? Because it's you, I say yes. I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. There we go. Ah, hell, there's a firmware update. Hang on. Oh. Okay, interesting. I was so scared when I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. I see. Info updates, murders. There in the Fox Chamber I saw Shiver, the alderman dead on a table, and Papa collapsed in a chair. There were no yokai, apparently. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tenmataro. I see. Okay, so I'm looking for a contradictory emotion, but she's feeling the same emotions everywhere. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. Maybe it's this one. Is it this one? Got it! The music stopped, so I think that's what it is. The amount of fear you felt is rather low. Yeah! Because it wasn't vibrating. Okay, I'm starting to get it. Despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Well, where did it come from? And where did it go? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look. Look at this mess. Oh, suddenly I was full of confidence. Why though? Why though? Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Well, that's good. I don't know if it helps us any, but that's good. I'm glad she's not experiencing issues now. A sudden burst of courage. Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yeah, there was, but I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? Not in the slightest. Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to... Of course there is, okay. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with Oh, because you said it was your map. Yeah. It boosts Jinxie's courage because it was her. Oh, well, there you go. All right.
Take that!
So you saw some flowers. Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a 9-tails flower there at the scene, did you? Yabba-babba-booba! The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a 9-tails flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene! That's a crime! That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. That's a no-no. Now, the witness will produce and said evidence this instant. Sorry. She was just carrying it this whole time, huh? Okay. Huh. It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, your baldness? Give it to my bird. Ah, bird on my head! Bird's back. Ah! This is none other than the master key to Kyubi Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? Sure, why not? Where'd that even come from? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. Master key? That went missing? Oh, why don't I like the sound of that? Because it's bad news for us, primarily. Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Yeah, but it keeps the stakes high. Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is? Oh boy. Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. Is someone gonna replace the shackles? A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable! God damn it all! Everything always gotta be going butt up, man.
Objection!
Egads? How could this happen? Is that really an objection? That's more of an interjection. The defense's assistants will refrain from growling her frustrations. No, let her do it. She's allowed. Athena, are you all right? No. I'm all angry and sad. I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do. This sucks. Sykes, don't know. Allow me to put you out of your misery. Can I decline your offer? I'm pretty fond of living. Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Ugh. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you all right? She fell right into his trap. Now, I suggest you make a mad dash for from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed. Thought I was gonna say cleared.
Objection!
Anyway, whoa. Athena, please don't run away. Stay with me, Athena, I need you here. If nothing else, you provide moral support. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo? Mr. Justice? I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to? Athena running away, mostly. Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is it. What? Do all of the things that I did in the past not amount to anything because I make one mistake? That's dumb. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. You'll love to see this confidence. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea, so that's gonna be a problem. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or, in this case, inside the box. What a doozy that locked room is, too. Damn locked room murders. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's arguments? Sure, why not? The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die. Literally. Apparently. Jesus. The defense will explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room. Oh boy. You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I don't know. I gotta try. I mean, may as well. Either way. It's either put in the work or, you know, just fail. So, sure. I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through. And there's a sheer cliff outside. So it would be rather ill-advised. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like to say, simple is best. That'd do be. That'd do be. Doobie doobie dooba. We need to rule out all the absolute impossible escape routes. Then, whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox chamber was compromised. Okay. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. Well, if the chamber, the window, and the air duct are all not options, then they left through the door.
Take that!
They didn't say the door wasn't possible, so that must be it. A hallway door. Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox chamber and then lock it without a key? I should have seen this coming! Yeah. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but... Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly. Is the judge really saying, well, Apollo Justice, you better have an answer, or else the prosecution is going to murder you, and I guess we just don't care. God. This court system really has reached a new low of absolute lunacy. I'm fine, I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because Tenma locked it from outside, it locked on its own, the perp locked it from outside. I mean, it can't be that because there's no way out, so then they have to have locked it from the outside. That's the only way that anything makes any sense. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key to the hallway, the heart, the wig, why? Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact. Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside. But the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. You guys are the ones telling me to keep it simple. If only we could explain both. Like, how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackwill decides to murder him. Why are we humoring this? How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked? Slipped it in when the door was opened. No, you would still need, the door would need to be locked. You can't open it. I'm assuming it can't be slid under the door frame or anything. Threw it in from outside, changed the... That'd be impressive, but I don't think there was time for that. Yeah, that should be doable. I think you can get... Yeah, you can get into the vents from the outside. Yeah? What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the fox chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility. Well, maybe the killer had a grappling hook. Oh, right. Ah! I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window? Huh. Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say sure. The ducts!
Take that!
The ducts! The air vent? Yeah, why not? The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right. The fox chamber's air duct leads out onto the hallway. Yeah, so why not? That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the fox chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vents inside the chamber. Daggerboggle! That's preposterous. You're a hippopotamus. Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. I'll explain it so even your honor can understand. I feel like I'm being consulted, but okay, go ahead. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenmataro, murdered the alderman in the fox chamber. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. I don't know why they went through all that trouble, but sure. All that was left to do after that was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Booyah-kasha! Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing! Even I could follow that! The judge seems really pleased. That explains everything! The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenmataro, and there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room! Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Oh, that was a total turnabout. That massive forehead of his seems so much more attractive. Wait, whoa, hang on, what? Whoa! Rock on, Apollo. Y'all got yourself an admirer. Let's go. As they say, everything is someone's thing. Order in the court. Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
Oh, but my music was playing. A valiant effort, Justice Stono. But your final thrust missed its mark. Wait, so am I a spearman now in this metaphor? Huh? Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the... Ah! But that isn't possible without being spotted by the security system, that is. And I'm assuming, I guess the security footage was checked then. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. Ha! The bird was shocked, I was right. However, there was no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage. Save for the foyer entrance, there's no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good in my tum-tum. Ah, hi! Wendy Lee! Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. I didn't even know that was a window. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
I don't wanna. Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? Yes. It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. Yeah, well, in our defense, we're lawyers, not detectives. I'm just saying. This is the cliffside of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one. Ah! Non? Did you just say non? Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right? I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset? Well, it was a bird. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Like, perhaps, a tabloid photo. That would be real convenient to have in our pocket. Who's saying we don't? That's completely far-fetched and stupid as it is. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Okay, well, you didn't need to yell it. Whoa! I thought I was the one with the cords of steel. Girl voices can go higher and louder than men voices. That's just how it is. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor? What evidence do you have that the killer flew away? This tingy.
Take that!
I got this tingy. Is this good enough? Take a look at this special edition paper. Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out the window? You're not seriously suggesting. Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer, disguised as Tenmataro, flew away. You know, by some way or another. Maybe he had a jetpack. We have robots that can read and project emotions through the sounds of people's voices. Is a jetpack so outlandish?
Silence!
I don't wanna! It's my job to talk. It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is not but trick photography or some other form of artifice. Okay, then how about the Tenmataro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air? Thonka thonka. No. There is a rational, common-sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai our Trixie Tanuki witness never reached the entrance. He, or should I say, she, oh god, turned back before the camera's electric eye. We're doing this now. She. I don't like where this is going one bit. Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter, Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Oh god, not good. Not good at all. Dude saw that he was in a corner and just decided, sure, why the hell not? Let's accuse the 15-year-old girl. Why not? Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of the Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma! Time for some yelling. Ah! No! I'd like to ask that this trial be stopped due to pure stupid. Order in the court! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever. We will do no such thing. It's our thing now. It's a tradition. The little scamp was, no doubt, simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out the window. I can't argue that much. Did you truly believe this could end any other way? Well, I mean, I was hopeful. Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of yore would. Well, that pissed off her dad, and our case is about to get so much worse. Here we go. Mayor Tenma? This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up? Oh, he's trying to force a Dude, that's messed up. Tenmataro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? Wait, what? Apollo? Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. He's being an asshole. Like all prosecutors in this damn series. Mayor Tenma, no, don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone. The real killer is... Mayor Tenma's gonna confess unless we do something! Throw something! But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away. Why is he making bird noises? Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return. Huh? Oh no. I should watch what I wish for. Well, this is gonna get weird. Yep, things got weird. Ka-ka-ka-ka, foolish mortals! I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek. Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold the return of the Demon King! Somebody get a rice cooker. What? Demon King? Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation! Yep. Cut and run to some sort of simple island where the Demon King cannot follow. The witness will... he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed! It is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? What nonsense! So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now. Sure, why not? Ka-ka-ka-ka! His body is now mine! So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you? I mean, if so, couldn't he transform into his full bird form? Because he was clearly in a full bird form during the, you know, the whole murder situation, so then that should be an easy feat, right? The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my okay, well, hey, at least they brought it up. Oh, God, this is so stupid. Your baldness! Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. What? You claimed the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, but it was the accused all along. That! Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be a real, in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma! Or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How so, Prosecutor Blackwell? It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the fox chamber with the candlestick, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter, Jinxie Tenma, stumbled onto the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, he's really doing this? Freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of... It is the prosecution's argument that there literally straight up is a yokai possession on our hands. Okay. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the fox chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro.
Objection!
Oh my God. But when we arrived on scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How's that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of Kyubi Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro? Oh. Ah! Damn it! That too is easily explained. Flew out for a time I, but presently tired, I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the fox chamber, and I knew no more. That's stupid, but okay. It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't even know anymore. I don't know what to say. This is all weird as hell. Is the defendant or real life? So that rumor about Mayor Tenma is true? I knew yokai were real! You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro? Order! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. Okay, sure. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai. The proverbial ducks are all in a row, and they be shooing up a storm. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. I don't know, I still say the demon exorcism was probably the weirdest, but sure, otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Man or demon, all are equal under the law. Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to—
Silence!
Man, would you shut it? This is the dark age of law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This has been a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono.
Objection!
Bruh, I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. What? A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? Your suggestions are weird and I don't like them. We both have evidence and a confession. The killer is the yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but— Whoa, whoa! What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks! The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that mess. Was he just did you tase him? What in the devil was that? Fool Bright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? Ha ha ha! Yes, it seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell, Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective? Oy, oy, oy. Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Yay! I made it through. Go me. Whew. You know, it is nice to see a prosecutor actually be, like, kept in line. You know, like, I mean, I don't know why he had to wait until the very end of the whole thing to actually do that. There were plenty of opportunities to, you know, shock him when he brandished a blade at his opposition. I mean, I guess because, I don't know, Fulbright is a weird dude, is basically what I'm getting out of this. Anywho, I guess we gotta go and figure out how on earth they managed to make the bird fly. That's gonna be fun and interesting. And let's all remember, Blackwell doesn't wash his hands, so don't shake his hands. It would be gross. Hope you're all having fun. See you all next time.